Hello there. This is my first video in English. Why am I being a Mexican? Why am I addressing myself to English-speaking audience? Well, first we would like, Roberto Santana and I, he's holding the camera. We would like to communicate. This is why we're making these videos. He's only 25 and I'm 78. But we're both aiming towards people who might be interested in the things that him and I are interested in. Music, beauty, thought, life, quantum mechanics, dreams, sex, not too much, age, oldness. You know, one of the things that is sort of giving me a reason to address to you English speaking and understanding people is the fact that I owe to the United States and to England a lot of my education. I've spent years, grammar school, my master's in city planning in St. Louis, Missouri, 6 months in England, Sussex, Rudolf Steiner, anthroposophical movement. And after all this, beautiful girls that I've met, incredible teachers that I've had, wonderful books that I've read, I think I owe a lot to English speaking, native English speaking people, to which I thank you now publicly in this video. Thank you, English, American, Australian, New Zealand, you name it. Shakespeare people. Okay. Now there's this friend of ours, and I say ours because my family is involved. His name is Vince Britton. I don't know if I am saying it correctly or should it be different, but Vince with a V chica, Vince, Vicente, like Vicente Fox, but not quite that tall, but much better, much nicer. Vince Britton in, I think he's staying in IñIGO. He knows who I am and I know who he is. Well, not really. But I know he's a very nice person. You know, he and I are acquainted because our family met. He lives in the Lake of Chapala. I'm not sure if it's IñIGO or some place there. And Vince and I have communicated a couple of times by Facebook. Why am I talking about him? Well, because he's my only connection with all the American that are in the shore of Chapala, IñIGO and all around. I bet you Americans and Canadians and a few Europeans are quite connected, because you own these places, and the problems of security and the problems of the lake that comes and goes, you know, the water goes up and down, and the problem of how clean it is and how safe it is and all this concerns you, basically. But then, that's not the idea of this conversation. I'm not interested in the lake or in your investment. I'm interested in you, people, Americans, Canadians, Europeans, living here in my country, that I wish and hope that you really enjoy, because I think you might enjoy it better than us, because we were born here, and it's only natural that we don't see what we have in front of us. But you do see, because you were not born here. That's why you can appreciate and evaluate perhaps my speech better than even Mexicans. That's why I thought of saying it in English. Now, what should I talk about? That's something I've been thinking. What can I say to Americans, to Canadians that are living here close by, in the lake, by the lake? What can I say? Why should I address them? Well, you know, addressing people is nice. You might learn something. You know, life is all about learning. That's the only thing we can do here, learn. And suffer, which is the same thing. You learn by suffering, you know that. I don't have to say that. So, what subject should I talk about? What sort of things should I say to an American audience? Hard goal. But I think I have one. Because some years ago, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, being in Ajijic, I met a group of Americans, or Canadians, I don't know, which were being united. You know, they had meetings once a week, I think. And they were interested basically in dreams, sueños, dreaming about, you know, water, stairs, caves, tragedies, monsters, dungeons, you know, bad dreams, pesadillas in Spanish. You've had bad dreams, I'm sure. Well, and I'm sure you Americans and Canadians, because you are elder people, most of you, educated people, perhaps, like we say in Spanish, más saben por diablo que por, más saben por viejo que por diablo. You know more because you're old than because you're evil. You know. Being old is a blessing. Es una bendición, being old. Because we know better. And this is why I'm glad to address you. Because you're not only old, but you are foreigners. You are the first world citizens, foreigners living beautifully in our Mexico. Welcome. So I would like to speak about dreams. Maybe to some of you this subject is absolutely personal. To me, nothing is personal anymore. Because I, as a person, is no longer functioning. I'm not a person anymore. I'm old. You know, I'm not currency. I do not mingle. I'm alone. And I'm glad I'm alone. Because I can finally meet myself. That is what Pythagoras said, know thyself. Conócete a ti mismo. And dreams is what it is all about. Because dreams is what the unconscious is saying to you. At least that is my experience. And incidentally, it is what Freud and Carl Gustav Jung based part of their investigations of the unconscious upon the basis of dreams, in which the archetypes, in Jung's case, or the eros and the angst and the ferociousness of us, was aggressiveness and sex, was Freud. And archetypes, the anima, the animus, the ego, the self, the persona, the shadow, and the process of individuation, where you put in an axis your feeling, your sensing, your perception, then your emotion, then your thinking, and then your intuition or your spiritualness, your spirituality. You put all those in one axis and you achieve individuation. If you read your Carl Gustav Jung, you know what I'm talking about. So, in this first video, I want to address Vince Britton and his friends and his girlfriends. And I'm asking, through this video, if they would be interested in having an interchange of ideas, a symposium, modern conversation, understanding by modern the method we are employing, we are using right now, which is this sort of a thing that we are looking at, and I'm being looked at. Señor Cantinero, thank you. Thank you, Vince. If you receive this message, if you want to share it with your friends, I would really like to know, first, if you're interested in listening a bit more about our ideas, you know, if you look in my YouTube, we have 60 videos in Spanish. You know enough Spanish to see if one of those subjects or themes or ideas, dissertations, whatever you want to call it, if you think it would be interesting to say it in English, I would like an English audience. And it's not that I like what is important. But if I speak English and I'm doing these videos, why can I not say it in English too? There's some things that are better said in one language or in another. And there's a different sort of feeling in the people behind the language. Because the language makes thought, thinking, reasoning. Language is a dominion, a being by itself, alive and breathing and snapping. See you soon.